Today I'm doing a requested video. This is going to be a bookshelf tour. Yes, I have this year joined the booktube community, and since then I've accumulated a lot of books, and yes, it's very nice to stand here and dance up from my shelves. I'm very proud of them, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Basically, if you don't know what a bookshelf tour is, it's basically I show you guys how I organize my bookshelf, and I'll show you each and every book that I currently have on my bookshelf. Yes, that's basically gonna be it. And also, I always like when I read a book, I always like to buy the book because I like to have them. These are almost all the books that I've read my entire life. Of course, there's some school books and some borrowed books by the library that I haven't that I don't have here. So if you want like a full TBR video, this is also gonna be it. First, I want to say that I usually organize my books into 3 different things, and that was by alphabet for the ones that I've read, a TBR, so the books that I'm going to read, and then the last category is classics, and that's usually how I organize my books. But yesterday, I think, or the day before that, whatever, I realized that I wanted to organize them by genre because I have enough books now to do that, and if I read any more books, like, I'm gonna have to change it again because I don't have enough space. But anyhow, I'm rambling a lot. I'll show you guys how I organize them for now. So this shelf right here is books that I haven't read, and I usually keep it to a 1 shelf because like I have a limit of how much like I want to have my TBR, because I feel like if I have more than 1 shelf, there's just books that I'm never going to read, and by having 1 shelf I can like limit how much like stress I get from seeing all the books that I have to read. Above that we have classics. And this is both the read and unread classics because I don't have enough shelves or enough books to separate them both. Above that, here we have my comics, and then we have The Lord of the Rings and a special copy of The Name of the Wind. And above that we have Swedish books, both unread and read, and that's kind of how I organize that. Then up here are just, we don't need to go through each and every book for these ones. These are books that I don't want to read, and books that are like dictionaries and word books and grammar and stuff. And then under that, here we have my personal development books. On top we have poetry. Here we have horror and thriller. So like from here, this is like all read books, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Then here we have dystopian. I mean, some of them are debatable, but like what I think. Dystopian. And here we have Maggie Stiefvater, both The Raven Voice and The Shiver, The Fallen Angel, I think, Quartet. I love these books when I was small. And up here we have my retellings, and here we have my sci-fi. I'm actually surprised like how little sci-fi I have. And then here we have supernatural, so like ghosts and vampires and werewolves. Here is like where my contemporary starts. So the 3 first books are biographies, and then my adult contemporary, and then the last 2 is where my YA contemporary starts, and this is my whole YA contemporary shelf. Above my YA I have fantasy and magical realism. Above here, then down here I have the what is it called, the House of Night series. I read those when I was like 11 to 13, and I love them. Yeah, so the first ones are in Norwegian, and then I have the last ones in English. And then here I have my Harry Potter shelf. Up here I have some magazines. These are like cool books, like books about vampirology and dracology and like that kind of fun like stuff, and symbols and what they mean. And then here we have children books that I haven't thrown away since I was a child. And over here we have the, oh my god, is it called? It's like the True Blood series, but like the books. So I haven't read all of them because at one point I was just like, I can't do it anymore. But I read all of these, and then there's a trilogy here I haven't read. Then I have the Game of Thrones. I haven't read them. I don't know if I will, but I feel like I just needed them in my collection because it made me so happy. And here I have all my Norwegian books, and these are also all read. And that is basically how I organize my bookshelf. Pretty simple. If you have any questions, then of course ask. Now I'm going to go through every single book on each shelf. We're going to start with my TBR shelf, I feel like. So these are all the books that I haven't read yet. So on my TBR, I have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, Trainspotting by Ivreen Welsh, Accidentally Demonic by Dakota Cassidy, Never Let Me Go by Kazuro Ishiguro, The 10th Insight by James Redfield, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo, Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman, United We Spy by Ali Carter. Here I have Percy Jackson, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and here I have Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian. This is the 4th and the 5th book in the Percy Jackson series. Then I have A Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Then I have Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. After that we have The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, both by V.E. Schwab. Then I have Pax by Sarah Pennypacker. That's a lot of good last name. Then I have The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. Then I have The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows by Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. Then I have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Last here I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and a Alexander McQueen biography called Blood Beneath the Skin by Andrew Wilson. Then we have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Then I have A Poison Dark and Drowning by Jessica Clue. This is the 2nd book in a duology that I actually don't have the 1st book of, then I haven't even read it. So yeah, that's how it is. Then I have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. And lastly, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Above that we have the classics, so we'll start here. These might be supposed to be in the science fiction section, but we'll see. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. 5 other books in this series, also by Douglas Adams, called The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe, and Everything, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and Mostly Harmless. Then I have The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. Also, before I continue, I just want to, if you're wondering which books here I have read and haven't read, the ones with the hearts on them, whether they're gold or red, is the ones that I've read. Always this one, like, I haven't read, so that's how you guys know the difference, at least for the classics. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, Emma by Jane Austen, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and The Wizard of Oz, Elfrach Baum, both the Puffin Classics editions. Then I have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Then I have A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, The World in Winter by John Christopher. Then I have The Never Ending Story by Michael Onday, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Collector by John Fowles. Then I have Lord of the Flies by William Golding, also a horrible copy, just need to add that. Then I have Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. God damn, I didn't know that. Then I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Casey. Then I have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. After that, I had The Pilgrim's Regress by C.S. Lewis. Then I have Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Horror Stories by E. Nesbit. Then I have 1984 by George Orwell. Then I have The Little Prince by Anthony de Saint-Exupéry. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Next we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Then we have Dracula by Bram Stoker. Perfume by Patrick Suskind, something like that. Arabian Nights, Tales of a 101 Nights, Volume 1, to Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, and Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. And then lastly over here we have The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which I have not read, as you can see here. Okay, so this is the shelf above my classics. Here I have my comics, which is not so many. I have the first 3 in the Saga series, so it is Volume 1, 2, and 3. I've read all these by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Then I have these Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. I haven't read any of them, but I do have Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Lost Adventures, Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise Part 1, Part 2, Promise Part 3, and lastly I have Snot Girl by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung, and Vey by Sara Bergman Ekgren and Carl Jonsson. Here I have The Lord of the Rings. I haven't read any of those, as you can see, but I have these really beautiful copies, and I haven't really found like any copies that are as nice as this one's. So this one is The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the Ring, all by J.R.R. Tolkien. And above that I have a Lord of the Rings tarot and card game Yeah, they're really cool and the illustrations are amazing. And then over here I have this 10-year anniversary edition copy of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Like, this is my little baby. Like, this is like my little life. I absolutely love it. It has this really, really gorgeous cover, and it also has like red pages, and it has like dictionaries and all this thing. And it also has illustrations. So up here is my Swedish book shelf. Yeah, I guess you guys are not so interested in that, but if you want to know, I read The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns both in Swedish, actually. And then we have, these are my two, I think one of my two favorite contemporary Swedish books. They're absolutely amazing. But then I also read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs in Swedish. And over here we have The Circle and Norra Latin by Sara Elfgren Bergman, and these ones are by Mats Strandberg. That's it, the Swedish section. So here I have my horror and thriller books, and so first we have The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey, Say Her Name by Juno Dawson, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, Girl Who Was Supposed to Die, and Girl Stolen, both by April Henry. Then we have The Shining by Stephen King, as well as Carrie by Stephen King. Then we have House at the End of the Street by, who is this by? Blake Luka Mostov, apparently. Then I have Asylum and Sanctum, both by Madeleine Roux. This is the first and second book in the Asylum novels, and all these books are read. Over here I have the Satanic Bible and two like kind of devilish books that I haven't read yet. So up here I have my personal development and my poetry books. So for poetry I have No Matter the Wreckage by Sarah Kay, Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, and I Wrote This For You by Ian S. Thomas. And then I have Building Social Confidence by Leanne Henderson. Then I have Rising Strong, Daring Greatly, and Braving the Wilderness, all by Brené Brown. And lastly, I have Dying to Be Me by Anita Moriani. And on the side here, I have my two angels. And on the right of all that, I have my retellings. And so I have The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, both by Renee Ahdieh. Then I have The Flame and the Mist by Renee Ahdieh, The Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin, all by Sarah J. Maas. Then I have Cinder and Scarlet Cress, and lastly Winter by Marissa Mayer, all in the Lunar Chronicles. And then we have Fairest by Marissa Mayer, which is a Lunar Chronicle companion. Then under my retellings, we have my Satanic Unicorn over here. These are my sci-fi books, or I think, I'm not very good at like organizing this, but I would classify these as my sci-fi. So then I have More Than This by Patrick Ness, Perry and Me by Ross Montgomery, The Humans by Matt Haig, Warcross by Marie Lu, Interworld by Neil Gaiman and Michael Reeves, and The Long Way to Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So here next to my classics over here, I have my dystopian, or I mean you could argue with some of them, but here we have Red Queen, A Glass Sword, and King's Cage, all by Victoria Aveyard. Then we have Ink by Alice Broadway, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, all by Suzanne Collins. Then we have Matched, Crossed, and Reached, all by Ali Condi. And yes, if you want to know, I actually read all of these books, so I should get a huge pat on the shoulder for that. Then we have All Rights Reserved by Gregory Scott Cat Cullis, and lastly The Name on Your Wrist by Helen Hirons. So under my sci-fi here I have the Supernormal books, Team Human by Justine Larbelestier and Sarah Rees Brennan. Then we have Abandoned and Awakened by Meg Cabot. I read the last one in this trilogy as well, but I don't have the book. Then we have The Accidental Werewolf, Accidentally Dead, and The Accidental Human, all by Dakota Cassidy. Then we have Drink Slay Love by Sarah Beth Durst. Then we have The Unbecoming of Maya Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Then we have The Damned Busters by Matthew Hughes. Gil's All Fright Diner by A. Lee Martinez. That's probably how you say it. Then we have The Worst Vampire Ever by Cassie St. Ange. Then we have Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. Then we have The Vampire Diaries, The Awakening and the Struggle by L.G. Smith, as well as Vampire Diaries, The Fury and the Reunion, also by L.G. Smith. And lastly, we have Joseph Griffin is Not a Vampire by Heather Swain. And these are also all read. Under here, it's just kind of like series. I don't really know how to explain it, but we have The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily Lily Blue, and The Raven King, all by Maggie Stiefvater. Then we have Shiver, Linger, and Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. The last ones, the two first in the series, are that I read in Swedish. So in Swedish, they're called Fallen Angel, Lost Angel, and then we have in English Silence and Finale, all by Becca Fitzpatrick. And I read all of these. Next to my supernatural shelf, I have my fantasy shelf. I'll just take away this for now. Here we have The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle, The Thinking Woman's Guide to Real Magic by Emily Corey Baker, Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake, Erin by Simon P. Clark, Seriously Wicked by Tina Connolly, Truth Witch and Wind Witch, both by Susan Dennard. Then I have Stardust by Neil Gaiman, Coraline by Neil Gaiman, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, as well as American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Then we have Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan, Every Day and Another Day, both by David Leviton, The Plague Charmer by Karen Maitland. Then we have Swoon by Nina Malkin, The Disappearances by Emily Bain Murphy, The Alchemist by Michael Scott. Then we have The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, and The Titan's Curse, all by Rick Riordan, the Percy Jackson series. Then I have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, Vicious by V. Schwab. Then I have A Darker Shade of Magic, Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light, all by V.E. Schwab's in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. And lastly, we have Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Okay, so up here I have my Harry Potter books. So these are the oh shit, that was a Harry Potter magazine, oh well. Here are like the original editions, so I haven't actually read these editions because they are ones that I just picked up from my mom's bookstore, or rather said took it because I wanted the original. I have the first four in paperback: The Goblet of Fire, The Prisoner of Azkaban, The Chamber of Secrets, and The Philosopher's Stone, The Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, The Deathly Hallows, all by J.K. Rowling. We have the Norwegian editions, so these are the ones that like my mom read to me out loud when I was a kid, and I think they are in the English ones as well. They look like this. And then over here are the ones that I'm reading now. We first have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. I got this one when I was a kid in Norwegian. It's called Skaldens Skures Historier, which is like, I don't even know how to translate that. But it's Tales of the Bard. And then over here we have Quidditch Through the Ages by J.K. Rowling, of course. And I don't have the first one in these new editions actually, which sucks. But I have the Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire, and The Half-Blood Prince. If you're wondering why there's no 5, it's because ding. Okay, so this is like the Harry Potter kind of inspired shelf. I have The Snitch, and then I have The Order of the Phoenix, and I have Bertie Bott's Every Flavored Beans. And then if we move over here, we have the Triwizard Tournament Dragons, and then we have the Illuminator, as well as the Deathly Hallows, the last book, which I haven't read yet, but I will next week. Then if we move like all the way up here, so this is kind of in the way, but that's why they're up here because like I'm just so tired of the books. But here we have, I don't know, what are they called? Like the Dead series? Because every name has Dead in it, I don't know. They're all by Charlene Harris. I read all of up to this one, I think. I don't think I read these, but I'm not gonna. I just have them. So we have Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas. I guess I have 2 of those. Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail, definitely dead. Oh, I have 2 of those too. Shit. Okay. Altogether Dead, From Dead to Worse, Dead in the Family, Dead Reckoning, and then over here I have a trilogy by Kristen Painter, and it is, I literally can't reach them, I'm so sorry. Blood Rights, Flesh and Blood, and Bad Blood, which I think is a trilogy that I got a very long time ago. I don't know if I'm gonna read them or not, but yeah, they're over there. Then down here we have the Game of Thrones. What is it, 5 books now? I haven't read these, I just bought them the other day because I bought them for like 120 crowns, which is like the whole set, which is nothing. Yeah, so I just wanted them. So then furthest down here, I have all my Norwegian books, and I read all of these, I think. Yeah, basically, I didn't finish this one, but otherwise I read all of these. So it is the Twilight series, like literally, this is so worn out. Yeah, I read this a lot of times. Then I have these two books. Oh yeah, they don't have a cover. Bought them in English later because I want to read them. They're these like romance novels. They're just so cliche, but they're really good. I can't hide that. I read them when I was young, and I bought them again in English. Down here we have the House of Night series. I read, is it the first 6 in Norwegian, and then I finished, or I didn't finish it because I think they just have more books coming out all the time. Yeah, but I read these ones in English. And then here I have some companion novels, and then I have the Vampire Diaries in DVD because I actually bought them in the US when we were driving up there, so I could watch them in the car. And then I just have Enter the Void, a movie. Okay, so from here to like all the way down there, those are all my contemporary books because I used to read a lot of contemporary before I started BookTube. But this is how it works. So this little shelf here, we start with 3 biographies. So we have Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, and I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. Now we come to my adult contemporary, The Girls by Emma Cline. By the way, my favorite book of this year, I think. Then we have Worst Person Ever by Douglas Coupland, 1+1 by Jojo Moyes. Then we have The 1+1 by Jojo Moyes, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, as well as Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. Then I have A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Oseki, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and The Secret History by Donna Tartt, The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. And over here, this is where my contemporary, YA contemporary starts. So here we have Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart and Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. These are all in alphabetical order. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, Love Hurts by Mallory Blackman, Summer in the City by Candice Bushnell, I'll Tell You I Love You and Then I Have to Kill You, Cross My Heart and Hope to Spy, Don't Judge a Girl by Her Cover, and Only the Good Spy Young, all by Ali Carter. Then we have Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delaria. And here comes those Norwegian books that I was talking about. Yeah, so this is Perfect Chemistry. As you can see, they're extremely cheesy and the cover's just so bad. And then we have Rules of Attraction. It just gets worse. Get ready for the last one. Chain Reaction, all by Simone Elkelis. And then we also have Leaving Paradise by Simone Elkelis, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Then I have Will Grayson by John Green and David Levitin, Looking for Alaska by John Green, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, Let It Snow by John Green, Lauren Miracle, and Maureen Johnson. Then we have An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. And we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, Maybe One Day by Melissa Cantor, Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella, How to Be Bad by E. Lockhart, Lauren Miracle, and Sarah Malinovsky, The Disreputable History of Frankie Londo Banks by E. Lockhart, How to Build a Girl by Caitlin Moran, Forgotten by Kat Patrick, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alar Sans, History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten, and lastly, Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my bookshelf tour, and comment below how you organize your bookshelves. I might get some inspiration, and I just want to talk with you guys about it in the comments, so comment that below. I hope you guys have a really amazing day, and I hope you had a great reading month for November, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye!